is Russ. Yeah, we're back out on the road again. Right after a rain. It's been raining for the last couple of days here. It's cooled things down quite a bit. But I will tell you, yesterday, because of all the rain, and then you had, I guess it was upper 80 temperatures, 88, 89, something like that. Man, it was muggy outside. You know, the humidity is really what gets you more so than the temperatures sometimes. Morning. So I decided, well, since it kind of let up a little bit from the rain, I would head out here. On your left. Yeah, she had earbuds on. I don't even think she even heard me ring the bell twice. The dog had quite a long lead ahead of her, so the dog could always run in front of you. You got to be careful. Good morning. So yeah, I'm not going too fast. I'm just going on the basic trails we go. And the reason is because I don't know whether the rain is going to start up again or not. So I don't want to be caught too far away from the areas that I normally ride at. So we're not going to go anywhere as far as the distance is concerned. Morning. Now sometimes I'll go through these things and I'll go through the waters just to clean off my tires a little bit. You guys do that? Let me know if you do that. Yeah, if I see puddles, sometimes I'll ride through it a little bit, but really slowly. Otherwise, you're gonna splatter that all over yourself and your bike. So, but I'll go through a puddle sometimes just to clean off all the junk that accumulates on your tires. Yeah, let me turn on my helmet light. Totally forgot to do that. You know, I find that I now charge a lot of things. I charge up bike batteries, helmet batteries, front light batteries, rear tail light batteries, GoPro batteries. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, it's quite a few items they have to charge up. I do like this X-Needle helmet, I will tell you that. It fits really well. I did notice another review from another reviewer that I guess they got a couple of X-Needle helmets too. They seem to like it, just like I like it. They both said the same thing, just like I do. The helmet fits really well on your head. I mean, there's no play in the sense of, you know, nothing's moving around once you put it on there and you lock it in place, you know, with the adjustment thing in the back. So it fits the size of your head. I like the light. Like I said, I don't ride in the evenings. I ride during the daytime, but I still like having the light on. I use the third blinking pattern. I should call that the second, because the second number or second thing is really just a solid red light. So when you first turn it on, it has a blinking light, and then the second time you hit it, it's a solid red light, and then the third time you hit it, it's a different pattern of blinking. I usually use that one. And of course, the front headlight is just a solid white light. You know, it's not real bright. I mean, it's not like it would light up your whole path or anything. It's a safety light. It's an extra light, so you should still use your regular bike lights, you know, if you ride at night, or even like me during the daytime. I always have my light on, so it's always blinking, right? Morning. So the other day, if you watched the one video, yeah, I ran into the police out on the path on 4th of July. Yeah, I didn't recognize it as a motorcycle at first. I said, wow, that's a huge bike. That's because, you know, where I would normally have panniers, he had two boxes on either side. and then one tall box on the rear rack of his motorcycle. So it makes the bike look that much bigger. But I think if all that stuff was stripped away from his bike, my bike isn't that much smaller than his bike, really. And he waved me past him, and I said hello to him and wished him well, and as I usually do when I see police officers. Speaking of police officers, I was grocery shopping the day after 4th of July, and as you all probably had heard, 4th of July, there was a mass shooting at Highland Park, Illinois. Highland Park is not that far from us. It's what we consider the North Shore. We are the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I don't know what the actual distance is to Highland Park. I don't know, let's say 20 miles, 25 miles? I have no idea. I could ride my bike there if I wanted to hit those streets to get me there. So during the parade, of course, a gunman opened fire on people, and a number of people were killed. Quite a few number of people were wounded. My wife told me that her sister had told her that her daughter, meaning my niece, one of her co-workers were there, got shot in the foot. So, you talk about violence that happens. People have asked me about, is your area safe? Well, nothing's safe anymore, quite frankly. I'm kind of disgusted at all the events that are happening, and as you guys might know, not all of you do if you're new, but I used to work in law enforcement. I was an evidence technician, so I would be the guy. I would have been one of the guys that would have been out there if I worked for that department. I would have been one of the guys out there collecting the crime scene evidence and taking the photos. So, and then processing it for fingerprints and the like. So I was talking to a police officer that I saw while I was grocery shopping, and I told him, what I used to do, and we were talking a little bit about it because, when they find out that you used to be one of them as well, not as an officer, but, worked for the police department, we start talking a little bit more in depth about things rather than just surface things. So we were talking about evidence and the like, and I told him, I says, even though I've been out of it for so long, it always kind of gets to me when I hear about these things that happen, and immediately I get pulled back in. I get pulled back into the law enforcement mode of thinking. And then today, too, I read a comment. Somebody says, is there a lot of crime in your area? Well, it is Chicago. I mean, we are the suburbs of Chicago. But look, even at Highland Park, an area that's quite affluent, you would have never thought something like this would ever happen, and yet it happens. I was saying, I'm just riding around again, too, folks. I'm not going anywhere special again. I know the last few rides we've just been riding the streets and talking, but I'd rather be out than inside doing nothing, right? So anyways, I get pulled back in to these crime scenes. My mind immediately starts thinking about what would I do and the like, and I kept thinking, these large festival things, these large group gathering things, it's getting to the point where I don't know if I ever want to really go into one of those again. I don't know if I would want to go to a parade or to watch a marathon run or something like that, where there's a lot of people around. It's sad that that's the case. My wife said, you can't let these guys win, and you have to live life and continue on. You can't just avoid everything. It's true, but I just keep thinking those are magnets for this type of activity that might end up happening, where people say, oh, here's a good opportunity to just open fire. I start thinking back about the concert that happened in Vegas several years ago, and a gunman just started open fire on the crowd. I think about that. I think about the things like well, just about any other mass shooting type event, my mind just races to stuff like that. And then I go back into, like I said, law enforcement mode where I don't trust anything. So people have asked me too, on my Rad Rover I have a can of pepper spray. It's usually attached right over here. I don't have it here on this Magicycle. If I end up selling the Rad Rover, I might move that thing over to this. But they asked me, is there a lot of crime? And yeah, I wouldn't say there's crime per se while I'm riding my bike. But then I read about all these things that happen, like out in the San Francisco area, where people are just being stopped and they steal your bike. You talk about carjackings; these are bike jackings. And nothing's safe anymore. You always should be aware. Anytime you're out, you should always be aware. Let me just say it that way, because even though it doesn't seem to happen in your area, who knows what will happen and when it will happen. Just be aware of where you are. Keep your eyes moving. Keep your head roving around, looking around. And if you see something potentially coming after you or coming towards you, yeah, hit that throttle and get out of there. Know how to use your throttle. Sometimes that can help you. So, yeah, even if you can't pedal fast, you can throttle fast. Like this bike here, I can kick up that throttle here and just start speeding up if I needed to. And if I pedaled and throttled at the same time, we'd go even faster, right? So it's sad that things like this have come to this point, but it does happen. Okay, so on the road they had put like gravel to fill a pothole. Well, that gravel's splattered all over the ground now, so I had to ride through it. I would have went around it, but there was a car coming up. Yeah, look out for road hazards. Don't just look forward, look at your ground too. You don't want to be running things over if you can avoid it. So yeah, around here, most people are fairly friendly. They'll either wave at me, they'll say hello to me. Yeah, somebody made a comment that people didn't seem happy to see me around. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. In general, most people are fine. Then you got the maniacs. The maniacs who will open fire on people, yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of a downer to talk about it, but it's been on my mind since the whole event happened on July 4th. So anyways, what about the Rad Rover? Let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, a couple people expressed interest in it. Nobody's committed to it because I haven't committed to sell it yet. I've given out a price, and which I think is fair based on what's given on the bike. I mean, if you look at the Rad Rover by itself, it costs a certain amount of money, but then you've got a front basket and you got a rear rack that costs a certain amount of money. I think the basket, I don't know which is which, but one of them is like $89. The other one's $99 if you buy it yourself. So it's a couple $100 worth of, almost a couple $100 worth of basket and rack. And then you've got the larger battery. So, and it's discounted. So it's actually at a fair price, I think. And then you have the option of buying that second battery too. You don't have to. I'm not forcing people to buy that second battery if they don't want it. But at the price of what the battery's being offered at, I'd get the second battery. Yeah. That'll give you more range. Like I said, I was doing 64-mile rides and still had battery power left over quite a bit. And that's only because I'm a heavier guy, and I ride fairly hard in the sense that I'll throttle a lot as well as pedal. If you just pedaled, you got a lot of range with that thing. If you kept that thing at like pedal assist level 2 and just pedaled the entire time, you probably got a good 90 plus miles of range with 2 batteries. Easy. And those aren't exaggerated numbers either. How the manufacturers sometimes exaggerate their numbers for range. I always kind of laugh at it when they tell me, this bike will go 60 miles, or this bike will go 80 miles. I go, really? Yeah, who gets that? Not me. If you were light in weight, went straight ahead, didn't have a whole lot of stops, no hills, pedal assist level 1, go at a moderate pace, yeah, you might get that range. But most batteries that I've had so far on bikes, typically, if I ride the way I typically ride, which is relatively heavy on throttle and pedal at 3, pedal assist level 3 out of 5, I'll get probably between 24 and 27, 28 maybe, something like that. So yeah, when I read these other numbers, I go, who's getting these numbers? Not me. I'm too heavy, I guess. So, all right, this is the cul-de-sac, it looks like. All right, we're going to go around the circle here. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere fast. I just want to be outside. It's, like I said, it's relatively cool today. And with a little bit of wind hitting up against you while you're riding, just because you're riding, it's not like the wind is blowing much outside, because if you look at the trees, nothing's moving. It's just happening because, we'll head back, because you're moving forward, right? So yeah, it's like cruising, taking it easy, not riding hard. Yeah, I think the X-Needle helmet drags even more attention. They see the light on your helmet, and then they see all this yellow you're wearing. They see the big, heavy bike. I think it would be more intimidating looking if they saw me on the Rad Rover, because that's a big black bike. This one's mid-step white bike. Not as intimidating looking. Bit more powerful, but they don't know that. So how's the knees doing? Well, I bought these bikes to help my knee, right? And I don't seem to be pedaling quite as much lately, only because sometimes I find pedaling and talking a little bit hard to do. Concentration-wise, it's hard to do, and then, if I'm tired out, I don't want to be huffing and puffing and talking at the same time either, from the pedaling. So I don't seem to get quite the exercise that you guys do. But yeah, I've noticed sometimes if I do a lot of pedaling and I come back, by the next day my knee feels a little stiffer. So even with the replaced knee, I still have that issue. What is the deal here? Man, a lot of these streets have this roundabout cul-de-sac thing. I don't know where I am, quite frankly. I'm just I'm just riding for the sake of riding. I figured if I get lost, I still have my my map functions. Oh, somebody asked me if I've been using the Komoot app. I had not been using it. I do have it on my phone. I found that the little line that they put as to the recommended, and look at this is more of the same thing. Okay, I got to get out of here somehow. The little line that they put as to what the recommended path is tends to go right over the top of the street. I think that they should put the line slightly to the side of the street so you can read the name of the streets, but they don't. It goes right over the top, and he says you could actually turn that part off so that you don't actually see that. Okay, I may try it then. But before I knew that, I wasn't using it only because I said I can't even read the name of the streets. Which way do we go? I don't want to go there. Let's go this way. It looks like they redid this street. Look how smooth this is. Alright, let's go this way. Does this get me out of this? I don't want to keep going through all these cul-de-sacs. Alright, my right hand is falling asleep again. I think it is because of the thumb throttle. You know, if you're trying to hold it at a certain position, it seems to only happen when I'm doing light throttling, like a little bit like this. Instead of, if I did heavy duty throttling and pushing way down, I don't have that problem. But light throttling and trying to keep left, right, trying to keep it down in that position. Okay, maybe not. Here's another cul-de-sac. Okay, I guess this whole area does this. I have to go on that main street. I've been trying to avoid that major street. It's what I've been trying to do. I guess I'm going to have to take it just to get out of here because I don't know where I am. Quite frankly, these little turns like that, it's kind of like a U-turn. That's where you have a good chance of falling. I fell once because of that, and then when I was tipping towards the left, my leg didn't have enough strength because of the knee replacement. And that's when I went down my second time, doing something similar to that, just kind of turning, and then losing balance because of that turn being a little bit too much. These fat tires don't seem to do these type of turns very well. At least that's been my experience. I don't know how you guys have experienced. One person told me that that's what they experienced, that a U-turn put them down. Same thing here. My only reason I fell down, I could have just leaned off after falling, tending to wanting to fall. I could have leaned off to the left doing that and then just put my foot down, but my leg didn't have the strength because of the knee replacement. Had I had the strength, I wouldn't have gone down. So that happens. Okay, I know where I am. I'm going to take a right here. And starting up from a stop, almost a dead stop there. So we can't go on without talking about stops. I tend to teeter back and forth a little bit because you're not moving forward when you're stopping, and so you tend to start losing balance, right? So I find that hitting the throttle keeps me from falling versus trying to pedal my way out of that stop. You guys find that's how I start from a dead stop all the time. I always use the throttle to throttle down and propel the bike forward to keep me from tipping over and to get me moving quicker. I don't know who it was I was talking with, and maybe I was talking to John, one of our subscribers that I talk to quite a bit offline, that you guys don't see it. But I think he was asking me about the mid-drive motors, or we were talking about mid-drives, and I told him, I says, I don't know if I really would like the mid-drive. I know a lot of guys do, because I do a lot of throttling, as you know. I think he mentioned that if you had the mid-drive, if you ran out of steam, which I could very well do, you'd kind of be stranded because you kind of need the pedal in order to move that bike. That's true. That would almost put me back into the position of riding a regular bike. And one of the reasons I bought an e-bike was for the fact that if I went too far, wherever, let's go back the way we came here. If I went too far on the bike and I was too tired to get back, I could always throttle it back. Well, I don't think you can do that with most mid-drive bikes. Unless you have electric. There's the new electric premium bike that's out there. If you had that bike, on your left, thank you. So if you had that bike, it does have a throttle along with your mid-drive. I'd like to see more and more mid-drive bikes have that. If it had that, I think I would be okay with the mid-drive. But if it doesn't have that, I might have an issue. My own personal preference of the way I ride, and then also with the bad knee and everything, may not be the best for me. Yeah, and people have said, the more premium bikes have mid-drives, and so you're riding the not premium bikes. I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me one bit. I don't need to have the most expensive bike. I'm still going out and doing things, and it does get me from point A to B a lot better than a standard bike gets me there. So I'm okay with it. Although that doesn't mean I wouldn't like to try a better bike to see what I'm really missing, you know. There's always that curiosity. Oh, by the way, I get a lot of times people ask me, will you review this bike or review that bike? You know, I have no say in what bikes are given to me for review. I only have a say as to whether I want to accept it or not, all right? I guess you could ask companies, hey, can you send me this bike to review? I could do that, and I have reached out to a couple of companies but have not ever heard back from them. One company actually contacted me, I talked to them, and then they never contacted me back. I don't think they were interested in me after they talked to me. Yeah, things happen, you know. I don't know why he wasn't interested afterwards. I even followed up with them and said thank you for the phone interview, and never heard back from the guy. Yeah, it's a brand that everyone's heard of before too. So I don't know if it was just him or the brand had no interest. Could be just the guy. The guy told me he was relatively new with the company, and took him forever just to even email correspond back with me, back and forth. He reached out to me initially, and then I never heard back from him after that. So maybe it's him. Maybe he quit. Or maybe the other company says, nah, forget this Russ is right guy. We don't like that guy. I have no idea. So if you're that company, you know, that's what happened. I just never heard back from your rep. So, yeah, I have no real say in what bike companies do. Somebody asked me too, if you sell off your Rad Rover, will you lose your discount opportunities with Rad? No, I don't think so. I have no business relationship with Rad at all. People think I do, but I don't. Magicycle I have a business relationship with, obviously, because they give me a bike. I never got a free bike from Rad. I take that back. I did get bikes from Rad because of people buying their own bikes, and then Rad gives me $50 for every time you buy a Rad bike, and then they give you a $50 discount. That's how you support the channel, essentially. And that code that was given to me to give was because I bought a Rad bike. You could do the same, quite frankly. If you buy a Rad bike, they give you a code that's assigned to your account. And if you refer a friend, your friend can save $50, and then you get $50 too. That's their referral code. And because of the fact that I bought a couple of Rad bikes, I have the code. So he says, if you sell it, do you lose it? I don't think so. There's nothing that says that to keep your code with them, you have to keep your bike. Nothing says that. If you bought your bike, you can do whatever you want to do with your bike, right? Keep it, sell it, do whatever. But the code, I believe, remains with you, because as long as you keep referring them business, they give the $50 to your friend, they give you the $50. So if they were to say, well, you sold that Rad Rover bike, you no longer have your code, I still have the other bike I bought. I get a code for that one. So it doesn't really matter if I keep it or sell it, quite frankly. Let me ask you guys this too, and I've been thinking about this. Some of the companies out there, bike companies, will give an affiliate discount to YouTubers to give to their subscribers or whoever comes upon their videos. Okay, I could sign up for a whole bunch of those things. I'm not representing them. I haven't reviewed them. I haven't tried them, but I could sign up for all these affiliate links from companies and put them in the description of my videos to give you guys the opportunity to buy those bikes at a discount. Okay, now I think these codes they give you, the affiliate things, you can probably get that same discount on their own website. You ever been to a website where they say, okay, use this code and you get $100 off or $50 off or whatever the discount is? Well, they give that same thing to the YouTuber. So in other words, instead of using their code on the website, you use the YouTuber's code, and then the YouTuber gets that money. if you guys would like to support me to do that, I could sign up for all of these different brands and put it on there so that you have the ability to use those codes to support Russ is Right. Okay. Should I do that? I've been holding off because I said, well, if I never reviewed the bike, I don't even know if it's good or bad. Why should I be putting all these codes on here? But I have noticed that there are other YouTubers who do that. They just simply put the codes. So, you know, if you're not interested in a Magicycle, you're not interested in a KBO or whatever ones I have reviewed, but you do want to buy another brand, and I happen to have that discount code, rather than giving the money discount, you know, you get the same discount, but rather than giving it all to the brand, clicking on that code helps me. Some people said do it. Others have said, well, do you really want to do that? Well, let's put it this way. People are going to buy that bike regardless. If you have your heart set on that bike, you're going to buy it regardless, whether it's my code or the code that's directly on the website. And this way you do get to help me out. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Should I do it? Should I not do it? It's a simple thing, quite frankly. I sign up for it. They give me a link. Then when you're ready to buy that particular brand of bike, you click on my link and you make your purchase. Then they give me whatever they give me, $50, $100, whatever. And that's like in a way to support my efforts, even though I never really even reviewed that bike. So let me know. All right, I think we've gone long enough. I'm waiting for this car to pass me here. There we go. So let me know about that. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll talk to you guys next time.